So in this video we'll see how we follow convention in real-time application. So first thing is we have to create one more package. So we have already created this repository package and we have already created this controller package. We have to create one more package called DAO. Basically this stands for data access object, and we have to create one package for entity. So this is the best practices that is followed. Since we have kept this customer class into a controller package, we have to remove this class from here to entity, because this is our entity class. So our customer class is copied to entity class and repository is already at correct place. We will be making actual post API call, that is how done in a real-time application, or let us say a production application. So basically what we have to do, whatever customer object we were creating here, that we have to send it through Postman, or we'll get this data in request itself. That data we have to save it in database. To do that we have to do several operations. First one is, whatever data you are saving, make sure that you don't deal with entity classes directly. So to do that we have to create something called Pojo class. Basically I will be creating a class here called customer itself, and in this class I will copy everything that is there in our entity class. But this is not actual entity class, this is a Pojo class. So basically we don't have to use any annotation here. This is Pojo stands for actually plain old Java object. So this is just a plain Java object model class that we will be using to map details from this class to our actual entity class. It is suggested that you should not deal directly with your entity class. This class will just use for mapping our details, and this is our customer entity class. So to differentiate that, you can see one is there in DAO package and one is there, entity class is there in entity package. Entity class is actually mapped to our database. All the objects, that is ID, customer name, or even if we create any another variable, that will be mapped to our database. And now what we have to do to create a post API call, so that every time different data will come and we have to be able to save those data into database. We'll just modify this method little. We will include one annotation called request body, and here we will pass customer object. We can do one thing, let us change in DO package, let us rename it as customer Pojo, so that we will be able to differentiate, or let us rename it as customer DAO. So we have to change everything. Whatever is there in our entity class, let us rename as, just for better understanding, this is your completely individual choice what you want to name it. Let us name it customer entity, so we will be able to differentiate this. Just make the changes accordingly. In customer repository we have to make the changes as customer entity, because we are saving customer entity. So here you have to pass customer DAO, and that is all errors are gone. We have resolved everything. What we have to do, every time a new data will come in customer DAO object, and this request body is to map the request we are sending through Postman. You can see this annotation. This is the documentation of this annotation. A method parameter should be bound to the body of web request. What we have to do, we are getting customer DAO object, but we cannot save this DAO object to our database. We know that only entity can be saved to our database, only entity classes, and this customer database object class, that is customer DAO, is not an entity class. So what we have to do, we have to map all the data present in this customer DAO into customer entity object. So only mapping operation we have to do, and to save our customer entity we will create customer entity object. So now you can use constructor to create your object, and you can pass the details here. So first detail is ID. So what you have to do, you have to get ID from this dot get ID. And now second parameter is you have to get name from this. And now you are ready with one entity object. Another way you can do is, I'm just explaining you different ways so that you can learn better. Just create one customer entity object, and now you have to set data to this entity object using getters and setter. Dot set ID customer DAO dot get ID. So we are just using getter and setter to map our data from DAO object to our entity object. That is all we are doing here. Let us do it for name customer DAO dot get name. So we are ready with our object, and now we have to save this entity into our database. So we'll make use of repository object crepo dot save method will call, and we'll save customer entity. Now through Postman we'll make this API call, and this is very much important to learn because our call will not be the same, it will be different. So let us go to Postman. First we'll run our application so that we'll be sure that there is no error. So yes, our application is running now. Let us test our API, this save customer. So we already made, in previous video we already made a call to this previous save customer. So you have to go to this body, and there you have to paste your data. So this data is not now returned, this is previous data when we were hitting our API. So this is our actual data we are passing, but we already know that this customer ID, that is 1000, is already present. So we will pass different ID here. We will pass one, let us see, we will pass 1001, and we will pass customer name as John. That is all we have to do, and let us try to hit our API and let us see what response we are getting. One more important thing, we are returning null here. So basically we don't want to return null, we want to return what are the response that we are getting. So just replace this here. So basically we are returning customer DAO, but this save method return customer entity. So let us change this return type to customer entity, and now save it and run it. So we just want to make sure that whatever data we are sending through Postman, that should be saved into our database. So we are sending 1001 as ID and name as John. So hit this API, and yes, we have successfully created our post API call with the standard industry practices. So let us see in database whether database data is coming or not. So we have changed our table to customer entity, right? So we will go to customer entity table, and now we'll check what are the data present there. So basically 1001 and John is coming. And now what we'll do to test this, we'll send another data. So in place of 1001 we'll send 1002, and in place of John we'll send something else, customer 2. Now hit this API. Yes, this is returning the response, and just go back to the database to re-verify that. Yes, because 1002 and customer 2, so both data is coming. So this in this way we can make post API call, and this way it is made. And sometime in Postman now we are sending this ID, but in actual call this ID will be auto generated. So we can do it using annotation call @generated type in customer entity table. Here we have to use one annotation call @generated value. So basically we have to define here what kind of a strategy do you want. You want ID to be auto generated, you want ID to be modified or incremented by 2, anything. You can give your own implementation as well. So I want auto generation. Now I'll rerun the application. I don't know I have stopped the application or not. I'll just check the console. I have not stopped the application. So we have to basically stop our application using this red button coming, because this port is already in use, right? 9090 port. So you might get error that port is in already use. So you have to stop this application and you have to rerun it. Now we'll not pass this ID, but for that we have to make changes to our code as well. You don't need to set this ID. Now again you have to rerun your application as many times you change. There is way to make it automated, but we'll explore that later. Yes, so basically our application is running, and now we'll try to hit our API. We'll not pass this ID, just pass customer name as customer 3, and let us see what is happening. So by default one ID is returned. You can see this ID as 14. Now I will pass customer name as customer name 4. Let us see now what is happening. See, customer 4 is returned with ID 15. So what we did, we wanted to generate a default ID for whatever records we are saving into database. And let us go to controller class, and here we are saving only name and we are not saving the ID, but we are getting default ID for that. So in practical example you would have seen this in an e-commerce website where you make any order, or when you create any order you get an order ID. Suppose if you do shopping with Amazon or any other e-commerce website, and you always get a order ID for your product. So in this way that unique order ID is generated every time. So this is our customer entity table. I'll just run it and check it. Yes, all the updated data is coming with ID 14, 15, customer 3, customer 4, 1001 with customer ID as John. So this in this way we can make actual post API call, and this is the basically this is the industry standard that is followed. So that is all for this video, my dear friends, and in next video we will see a different API call, that is put API call. We will make patch API call, and we will make delete API call. We'll try to explore all those things, and we will re-verify these details into our database. Thanks for watching this video. Stay happy and keep learning.